Because you and I did up on the advisory and thing. Once now I feel like, say, is I and I ganja police, so we start get a whole heap of call now, and I say, well, youths are get locked up and in front of court, and it's that emerge rather, you know. Right?
This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. They are with me next Wednesday. Warm, I must say warm. Why so much events take place over the week here that, you know, them really, we have to just open my head and check out where I go on in our earth, you know, because it get red. It get red. But we're there with you. We give thanks to all the people them who say, well, I'm out here. We enjoy the music last week. Yes. Well, you know, it's this week, you know. You see, at 12 o'clock, we are going to celebrate Emperor Haile Selassie's reincarnation. Emperor Haile Selassie's coronation, the 2nd of November. That is next tomorrow. So from 12, a pure Rasta music. What me say? All of the music them from 12 go straight on. Will be healing up Emperor Haile Selassie the first. And we're going to have two brethren on the radio tonight to talk about some issues that we dealt with last week on the Stepping Razor as it relates to Rastafari and the, what them call it, sanctuaries, ganja sanctuaries were designated for Rastafari to celebrate and to really use ganja in a them sacrament purpose ways, you understand? So we'll talk to two brethren about that because they must part of the ones and ones who go in front of the ministers them and tell them exactly what we want, and then we say Babsy Grange come out and make a speech. So we want you to hold on that. Meanwhile, we're going to play this after the same town, Ladysmith Black Mombasa. And the main singer passed for a good while now, but you see the music where they make as a way they call a cappella group, where they not use man-made instrument, them use them body, them foot, them chest, them hand to make music. May I tell you, man, them sweet. You know, long me well while somebody bring them come along, man. May I tell you. Anyway, we have to continue the journey. Remember, say, we have to call two brethren to come discuss what we talked about last week on the Stepping Razor. Yes, so we want to hold on that. And then at 12, you know, say the 2nd of November. So we're going to do it like how we love to do it with the music. And all of the music them is healing Rastafari. So why you still awake for that? Arlene Aldoro out of Ghana, and you know, you have a brethren sing you African king, queen. Well, she answered and I say, I am our African king. Yes. Paulina Odoro. So here we go. Marcus Gaff, lawyer, and first man from the Rastafari indigenous village in St. James. And we want to do a follow-up on what we did deal with last week. I don't know if any of the brethren them did hear the program last week. Good night.
Blessed love Rastafari. Give young tonight. No. I know
first man that, right?
Yes, sir.
Look after him, did they?
Yes, Brother Muta.
You never heard the program last week?
I read about it.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll discuss where Babsy, the speech of Babsy gave on a month ago be about where the eye them got to them with. I mean, the way she talk, it is like she come up with it, but we know say some deliberation take place with a group of Rastafari, Bridging and Sistering. that it could have reached this level. So we want to talk about what happened. Which one of the ministers them want to go to first? The Minister of Security or the Minister of Justice? Which one of them?
So, just blessed greetings to the institution, the cutting edge, you know. And I grew up on this institution in many ways. So I want to give thanks to the eye for that. And also want to just give thanks to I Ragan RMO family, you know, that I really represent in this conversation. And, you know, this, as they say, this amendment took place in 2016, and the duty was more with the Ministry of Justice and the Minister of Justice, you know. Yeah, so the first journey started with Mark Bolden.
Yes.
And then Mark Bolden, politics coming in, and Mark Bolden losing in 2016. And then I end up now start a vibration with Chuck. The two of them approach it differently because of how the law set it, you know. Mark Bolden in trying best now did pay go through to the community, so you did have representative from the Naya Bingi house, you know, ones from the Bobo Shanti house, and, you know, other ones also dread, you know, brethren we could actually speak towards 12 tribe of Israel. And he did call that advisory committee. And what that advisory committee managed to accomplish, because, you know, that they did set up that still and require, say, so him not know nothing about Rasta, he would want a group of ones to advise him. And that lead to Roots Fest. You know, I know the guy they would know all about them journey. The same way when I start the conversation, them down a herb curb, and another one named Stepping Eye. You know, so this part of the amendment was activated the very same year of the amendment. You know, so but then the brethren lose now, and then it come over to Chuck. During that time, that advisory board set up what would call an application form. Because the amendment speak to three things. The amendment speak to no one can do event unless them are Rasta, so the exempt event. It speak to cultivation, and then it speak to place of worship. But one big part of the amendment where much people don't know about, which me think say Brother Marcus will only touch on, is that Rastafari is exempt from possession of ganja. So, meaning, say, if a police catch you with ganja, you're exempt from that as long as you can prove, say, you're Rastafari. So the whole thing comes from who is Rastafari.
Really, how you going to prove that?
Yeah. So the whole thing comes from who is Rastafari. So, and I did start to get the feeling now, say, the brethren when this new Minister Chuck, never start no engagement, and he never really follow along the line a Mark Bolden of an advisory committee. And then it's them time that we realize the advisory committee wasn't an entrenched part of the amendment.
Yeah.
It's just all the
feet.
Yeah, and it's just how the minister would and they choose to do it, and then now, and I know start get a whole heap of call, because and I did up on the advisory and thing. Once now I feel like, say, is I ganja police, so we start get a whole heap of call now, and I say, well, youths get locked up and in front of court, and it's that emerge Raga, you know, the Rastafari and Grassroots Association, which now is totally linked and run by the RMO. So Raga now start to, you know, do some defense. You know, Brother Marcus probably can't take it from this because it's a whole heap of legal, you know, right letter, get all I mention them to sign it, you know, and them things that so it's them battle that we are coming through while we know so no one can just own it because it has been a journey like that, you know.
Yeah. All right, so Gav.
Yeah, Bermuda.
As the legal man, tell me what was the journey with the minister, no? Chuck?
Right. So, yeah, man, number one, first man was saying there now. So, the advisory committee even said, was a really good consultative framework to work through some of these things. But then, when Mr. Chuck came in, I think we can probably safely say that, the current administration did not take to the ganja like the previous Minister of Justice had done. So, we really were seeking for some time to really, have a reason with Minister Chuck around these issues because, of course, ever since Rastafari been, lobbying for this type of freedom where ganja is concerned, and finally in 2015 we get this amendment. So we were very eager now to really hit the ground running, see how we can build out the ecosystem, how we can make sure that the Rastafari community benefit from this. And so it was a long time trying to even get a meeting with Minister Chuck. But eventually we were able to get a meeting and some meetings going because, again, we bring to the attention that the police still lock up Rastafari once. Either them take the herb and charge you, or them take the herb and let you go, or them take the herb and extort you for money. So we're still being, facing these kind of atrocities out there in the streets, And first one, we have to go to court several times to get money, go to police station, write a letter to judge, and all these things because many police, right? And some judges too were still of the view that the 2 ounce apply to Rastafari. When the law clearly says that the 2 ounce is exempt to Rastafari, there's no limit actually in the law of Rastafari to possess ganja. And so that was a thing that many people never believe and couldn't understand.
Hold on there. Was there an amendment of the law that the judges, where you go in front of the judge, them can't say, the amendment say what you just said a while ago? Was there an amendment to the law?
Yeah, man, the same 2015 amendment exempt Rastafari from being charged for possession of ganja.
So some policemen said they never hear about that.
And that, I think there was no coordinated training of police, right? And then some of them know still until I use them head or try use their head anyway to extort money.
Implicit bias that lead the tone of the day too, Yeah. The one them just subconsciously can't believe that the amendment said. So when you talk to some of them, they say, no, but so they literally can't accept that. That's actually right in the amendment for true. Okay. Right. And I think that the brethren get well criticized for it, that is
golden, yeah. All right. So, all right. Got to that thing about the Chuck part. I go and talk about the Chuck.
Yeah, man. So I'm saying after we have the police situation now, right? Then we decided to, all right, let me go to Militia that's for security, which is Minister Harris Chang, because the Commissioner of Police fall under that ministry. So we went to Harris Chang, explained to him the urgency because police still have harassed me out there in the streets and I raid ganja farm and I lock up Rastaman. So Minister Chang now intervened and said, all right, he's going to get us a meeting with Minister Chuck. And we were able to get that meeting shortly thereafter. And from there now, we were able to bring to Mr. Chuck's attention all of these continuing things that are facing the community, including the fact that many of the Rastafari community ones had applied to the Ministry of Justice from some time ago. So the law allows us first man for you to apply to get your right to cultivate for sacramental purposes and to have your place of worship recognized legally, and of course to have exempt events. But no applications were being processed as it relates to sacramental cultivation or place of worship recognition. So we're saying to Mr. Chuck, we'll have to activate them parts. We can't leave them partly vulnerable because from 2015, the law changed and up to this year, nothing like that has been activated for Rastafari to be able to have their own cultivation done legally, right? So after many reasons, with Minister Chuck, and with the help of the ministry and some good staff members down there, we were able to now get the minister to write the Commissioner of Police to outline Rastafari rights in a letter and to request that the police allow Rastafari, right, while Mr. Chuck work on some regulations he said he was working on to further Rastafari rights. So he wrote to Commissioner of Police, which was a good thing as well too, because it kind of made the police them appreciate the appreciate that this thing really needs some attention, from them. And from that, we're able to work with Minister Chuck. We had this list that we compiled because we worked on it in a collaborative way with the Ministry of Justice. We compiled this list based, again, on our information on the ground through RAGA and RMO and, through consultation with the community. And we presented this list to the ministry for them to now authorize sacramental cultivation, which we've been waiting on from 2015, Okay. And so this is what we got in August, and this is what we were reading out last week, and we give thanks for that. It's not yet perfect, it's still not exhaustive, it's an open list. We hope to have more ones in the community to be able to come through.
All right, so make ask the question. Make ask that question, I read out about 57 or so, right? Oh, the minister and the Rastafari community come to recognize these 50-odd places. What is it that was done to certify that these places is truly Rastafari gatherings happen there, or if it's not just some man just want a position to go smoke ganja on a place, so them was it. Oh, no come to that conclusion.
Yeah, so that is the interesting question, because when I start to have the reasoning and we are recognized to ourselves, even the name RAGA, Rastafari and Grassroots Association. And I know I find out, say, true, during them prohibition time there, enough Rastafari, they are depend upon non-Rastafari to actually plant,
Yeah.
So we start bring these reasoning now into the thing now, and I say, well, honestly, no, it's a Rastafari journey is about total legalization. But these ones now, they dip on the journey with and I couldn't leave them out, So as a result of that now, we start to develop and put, because Minister Chuck did interesting, him take a different approach, and Jim different approach was like, who is Rasta? So when I view that now, and I say, well, all right then, as a group of ones, who in that journey. So well, all right then, what? We now go apply. We'll self-regulate, and I will declare, and I check him upon that approach, and him did ire with it. So and I put in place, and I own protocols, and so we start to map the community. The ones them who, cause RMO and RAGA do not speak on the behalf of the Rastafari community. Any other Rastafari who want, according to the law set it, them can advocate for themselves. And, there's a lot of mistrust, and the government that deserve the trust neither. So, however, and I know go for a self-regulating where we start to search in the groupings of I, how much ganja we need, who really are planned on your behalf, and then establish one ecosystem, which is an expansive ecosystem. So in that ecosystem, say you don't have Ousa Dread, Hula Vision. Them ones are the one them would identify ones who really are grow up on them behalf. So it got Ousa Dread now have no place where it plants herb. Yeah. But Ousa Dread have some farmer will supply them with herb. So it's the Rastafari community now.
Oh, yeah, I understand. Regulate the farmer there.
Yeah. They then start to find themselves and then document that now. But then it becomes scary because, ones that say, they'll put my name on a list and get to government, So it's tricky. So I know even in an I vibration now, I feel really sure one. So we set up our own internal protocol. Yeah. Show one the trickiness of it, and those who agree would sign on to that process. So that is what that whole list is about. Yeah, ones now who would agree by principle that this is how I function. When I say how much ganja you grow, no, so that is not we are asked now to go tell the government that. That's because I take a proactive step. To know that if we want 10,000 pounds of ganja for a year, all our sacramental needs them can be supplied. So it's the reason that I now have put systems and structures in place now to ensure that if a health we want it for, if a bingy we want it for, whatever I and I would have did want it for. This is why we identify the amount and self-regulate and ourselves, you know, and do what we are doing. So Chuck, take the declaration. So those names that they are on the list are names now where I and I declare. But it don't put an end to the application process.
Yeah, because
one who don't say, oh, I and I operate. Because I and I think kind of look different in a way that every ganja way of plant amongst I and I would have to be accounted for. Meaning, I and I, because that means, because the man them worry say, ganja going drugs for trade and all them things. So I and I self-regulate and show them say, no man, I and I think it's only for I and I ecosystem and what I and I.
All right. Well, let's take opinion, so now. I can ask you now. If, when we're looking at the Gazette, when we read, there's a difference between the land we are going to use to plant for and the places where have worship, where Rasta have them sacraments. Right? So you have the sacrament place like the Bingy, like over Granville, you know, over House of Dread and upper the hill, where's your name? Upper Mountain, Blue Mountain, where's your name again?
School of Vision.
School of Vision, all right. Now we know that School of Vision have land can plant, right? And we know so you have certain ones whose Rasta have land can plant. But is it that all of the land you plant pan is places of worship, or you have the places of worship different? Because upon the paper, them have places of worship different from the places where you plant it. So what I ask now is, how you come to the conclusion that this is a place of worship for Rasta? Because enough of them, I never hear about them places yet. Hello?
Sure. Yeah, Muta.
Yeah, take that Marcus there on me.
Yeah, man. That's true.
Yeah, so it's the same process where place of worship different from cultivation in Africa. Yeah. So them separate, you know. So the place of worship will be priest pagan. The place of cultivation may be a place in a Portland, but the I would have it on the list, you know. So is that kind of relationship there. So some of the places them where here I get identified is only in relation to these places of worship.
Well, that makes sense. How come to the conclusion and say that place of worship, and then not just some Rasta man get off to smoke herbs. You mean anyway ganja smoke where Rasta there is a place of worship?
Yes, is that I and I say, you know, and that is what I and I declare. Say, and that is why now that carry a format where I and I declare, and that is why the ones them who definitely would have ones who agree to that particular format, that the divinity of Emperor Selassie is front and foremost. This is how I and I present and conduct I and I self. We have a protocol how the weed must grow. The weed can grow with fertilizer, and if it does so, it will take a transition time. You know, so it have all of the everything that's supposed to protect what sacramental or what Rastafari say as I and I best ital standard herb. All of that involved in a what would and did make the place there. You know, so I and I set one criteria and I want to agree to it. And then it's so I want to know would I really reach on the list.
All right, in moving forward, right? Well, is there another meeting set up with the minister for really just come clear up the thing once and for all, that nobody no get no misinterpretation or anything like that? Or this is it now? Because it's not the Gazette, so it sounds like that is the completion and final episode of this now, so go forth and do the thing.
Disrespect one, man, because I mean, I make Marcus speak to it, but just I pray him a little bit in a sense. You know what I want Marcus speak to the fact say Gazette, but I know what I and I did request. You know, so one still have to kind of know within themselves that them whosoever the panelist, they might accept it with some things where, you know, for example, him have a thing in the planet like, so boy, I want can pop up at your place anytime and I know. No man say, and this is why sometimes when you hear a lot of one know whether it's boy them want for the on the list and rare. It come with some things where some ones might wouldn't necessarily agree about. So, you know, but with
like for instance, no, tell me for instance, like where ones wouldn't agree with.
Like I just wonder why I just reason about say, you know, the Ministry of Justice can turn up anytime, you know, but they not do that with CLA. When them do them thing that with CLA, then give them date and them thing that with them turn up and know say, yeah, come at these plan time. But there are other little discrepancies, so Brother Marcus can read reason to it more for the legal one who read them document there.
Alright.
Yeah, it's really just that from our perspective, you know, we're saying that this ganja amendment must be viewed in a reparatory justice context. You know, Rastafari and ganja is synonymous for a long time, and Rastafari has been targeted and marginalized for generations because of the criminalization of the herb. So now we're decriminalizing. We can't continue to maintain this kind of heavy regulatory framework that is, you know, having a lot of policing of Rastafari around ganja.
Yeah,
we deserve to be able to continue to maintain this autonomous relationship with the herb without governmental or police interference. Yes, we understand a certain level of, you know, monitoring and so forth, but we don't want to continue the police. And so we still are going to continue to have discussions around that because we're emphasizing that the community must be allowed to, as I said, self-regulate internally, and that we don't need to have any kind of, as I said, you know, very heavy oversight. As well as, of course, we've also said that this is an expansive list, right? So it's like a final list, a cut-off list. Ones who might want to have a space now declared and developed, ones who were left off through inadvertence and so forth, and certain mistakes are there as well. We want to continue to have the list continuously reviewed and expanded where appropriate, you know?
All right. The minister, all right. It's kind of funny because some question arise, and that is now, suppose somebody, all right, for instance, you have a Rasta band. All right, I could say like Ivy and the Rastafari family, or China and him drummers them and thing, or where them call them up, or Rastafari. All right. If them get to play somewhere where it's not a Rasta function, is it appropriate then that the Rasta them now is free to smoke the ganja in a place where them was employed to play? Or how that go? Like if Rastafari, if Ivy and them family get invited to play one little uptown session, but them just want to hear some Rasta vibes, original. How that go if them sit down in there now and say them want to smoke some ganja?
So the law, you know, is still prohibiting smoking in public.
No, that's not public. That's not public.
Well, I'm saying if you go to a public event, like say you go to whether you say a hotel or a arena.
If a man who's not Rasta invite a private party uptown to play some Rasta music on the drums and thing, is it acceptable now that if the Rasta them decide them to pull out them chalice and draw herbs in the place? Or that should have been viewed? That wouldn't be viewed as a place of worship because the Rasta them have smoke ganja in there. Or how that go?
No. Well, I'm saying that would still be something that would not be against the law, but again, in the context of a person's private property now, you know, when you go to your private property, then you'd be expected to work within certain framework that govern that person's properties, you know, the rules are set by them and so forth. But it's not something police can come in upon you now because the ganja have been decriminalized and so forth, you know.
Okay. But I could not take a look around at that when I look upon it through the exempt event. At the exempt event, I go down at Negril, place like Negril. And in that particular time, the park they were used for all different type of event. During that time, when Rastafari occupied that space, it became actionable for every amendment of the law for that to be a place of Rastafari celebration, adherent to the Rastafari faith, and a place of worship. Now, so we can use the words interchangeably, and this is one of the things that is happening as it relates to the law. All of them questions what the I ask. Many people really complain and say Golden kind of left the thing open. But through perception, there could be a kind of respect in the openness. Because what the brethren explain is that he don't know. He don't know who is Rasta, he don't know, and so he don't want to put certain type of, and that's why the advisor did come in now to advise him, so him have flexibility in how to actually. So the law was meant to be a relationship building between the government getting to know I and able to ensure our protection around that. So it's I now is creating this person, and anywhere this person is sacred. Anyone choose to identify himself, as long as he's there, like how the I say, invited and whatever. So when I go to places like that, as I want to go play music in different areas, who is almost like me I come with my rider, so I need my little space so I can light up when time I see the mind. If that's something I do, I don't really do that still, but other ones might do it. And it's a comfortable thing because it's Rastafari, you invite to his space, so you want them to come knowing that. But the walk in Rastafari is the temple, and I declare these things to them, so it's a learning exercise about who I is, and it never restricted. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I know so it have to continue because, as we say, just like the locks, even though you hear the government has said locks, not to discriminate against, we still see them discriminate against locks in our school. When you see them with the herbs, just like how them say no, it's just that maybe the rest them, and the rest them who are traveling with it must know, say, them can't go bully down the police them. Because you have some rats who stay that way there. Through my car doors, them say, hey, want to move from Babylon, she say, I go where I sacramental, this and sacramental, that. And aggravate the situation. One of them, how to talk to men and people. That's men and people, push them disrespect for you, and then you have to disrespect it, and then it create a problem. You don't have to start no fire, like say, I'm going to you one of the fire. Respect is you and respect is you. See it, so.
I mentioned that in a thing, and I just want to slip in something small, right? So because even in the protocol, and I even said to the ones them say, well, we have a travel side to the protocol, or we transport the herb. And then I still said to one, so well, all right, true, and I look for go to legal ones right around the island, them early lawyers, they will come out and train them about the ganja mission and how the court should see it, and I say we have to educate the courts right now as it relates to them thing there. And I say that we could travel in a some time where within yourself that you can get support, even your own, because you don't have to hide now, because that's enough of the time for real, it's like enough ones can't really see it, say, it's free. So one still move late hours a night, and then time they can't get certain representation because everyone asleep. And just like just be courteous with police. Because we have all of these letters now, probably shouldn't send them to the eye where the eye can't see it. But we have all of these letters now where Chuck write to the police, and the very short letters where each one should walk with and just have them things they just like what the eye says. So you can have a respectful relationship. When I want to, you can say, yeah man, there are Rastafari, it's my piece of paper, wherever. Educate the police instead of money out.
That's why I say no, all of the ones that moved up on the list should I get one of the Jamaica Gazette, them, like a constitution, you have to work with it.
Yeah.
So you name the panic because warm to the time when a man decides to go offload a pound of ganja down St. Elizabeth there, down Clarendon on a boat. How the policeman are going to know, say, him now It's not that him go do. It's not export him it. When him don't say, why you want to see a place of worship him go. How that I go?
When it comes to exporting, then yes, that is a different framework.
No, but yeah. You know, him not going to tell the police him export it. He might tell the police him carry go one bingy, but it's really carry go off for set ship it off. How that part they go?
Well, you know, Rastafari have the right with the herbs, so until the police have information, evidence, or so otherwise, you know, then to allow the Rastaman. You know what I mean? So the burden of proof then will say in legal terms should be on the state and the police and the government to disprove say you're using it for sacramental purposes.
Okay.
You know, but until then, we have the right. We have the right to work for and we're elders, we ancestors, we ancient them suffer and die for already.
All right, Bridget, give thanks for the update, you know. And we hope the ones that are listening because it's a very serious and important milestone this is for the Rastafari community as it relates to ganja. Give thanks, Virgin. Give thanks.
Yes, sir.
Marcus,
Give thanks to you too, man.
All right.
Bless you.
2nd of November, 1930. So I got to do something right, you know. When you hear certain man I listen, I do something right. We're going to South Africa with this song, you know. Yes, here we go. We'll leave a gold mine, Johannesburg. Big city, look like New York. It's a skyscraper like, wow. It's a nice, just a whole heap of people go to Africa if it's even once in their life. Trust me, man. As we said, 12 o'clock, we're ushering His Majesty coronation.
33 currencies in Africa. 33 currencies. None of which is used to conclude transactions anywhere. I come to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and I show my shilling. They say, what is this? But let me show the dollar. Oh, this is it. Let me show the euro. This is it. 80% of transactions in Africa are concluded outside of the continent in dollars. So you may have the Central Bank or the Federal Bank of Ethiopia or Mickey Mouse. You may have the Central Bank of Kenya, Mickey Mouse. You may have all these 54 central banks useless. Because we are not playing in the real league, we are playing in the small league.
Yes, believe you me, something to listen to. Like Jamaica, you can't spend Jamaica money nowhere else. Yet it can be changed into other currencies, and then you spend the currency. US dollars.
We spend $54 million a year on hair. $54 million a year on hair. We spend $152 million a year on perfume. We spend $700 million a year. This is just black people. $700 million a year on liquid soap. We are clean while living dirty. So you smell good, your hair looks good, your nails are good, you got brand new clothes, and you got all of that with no insurance. You got all of that with no stocks. You got all of that.
Hey, we have to play about this preacher here, you know. We have to play about this preacher here. Listen.
We spend $54 million a year on hair. $54 million a year on hair. We spend $152 million a year on perfume. We spend $700 million a year. This is just black people. $700 million a year on liquid soap. We are clean while living dirty. So you smell good, your hair looks good, your nails are good, you got brand new church clothes, and you got all of that with no insurance. You got all of that with no stocks. You got all of that with no investment portfolio, but you smell good. We just keep buying a bunch of crap.
Now, I found out that the Greeks, who were supposed to have been the founders of civilization because they were the first civilized white folks, but the Greeks got their civilization from the Egyptians. And the Egyptians were black people. And the Greeks passed their civilization on to the Romans. They couldn't retain it. They lost it. They had a dark age in Europe for 500 years. And then another bunch of Africans, the Moors, from North Africa, moved into Spain and started civilization all over again. So instead of Europe civilizing Africa, Africa has civilized Europe 2 times. They said that the earth was flat like a pancake out in the vastness of space with the sun and the moon and all the stars going around it. The ancient Egyptians in the Pyramid Age 6,000 years ago knew that the world was round. They knew that it went around the sun in 365 and 1/4 days. They measured the circumference of the earth, and they calculated it so accurately until modern astronomers said their error was only 1 yard. Circumference of the earth is about 25,000 miles, and they calculated it with an error of about this, 1 yard. African history. The reason I'm talking to you about it is because it's not in the textbooks. And it's not in the textbooks because we don't write textbooks. We have other people write the textbooks, and they put that propaganda in there, and we are supposed to swallow it.
I hope I listen. Some serious talking. Yeah, man, serious talking.
And I've said, and I'm saying it again, the things that require technology will not be achieved through theology. You are not going to pray the 5G to come into being. No. God gave you the ideas because your mind is what God gave you, and we are created in God's image. The image that God talks about is not about how we look. How can God possibly look like me? How can God possibly look like you? Ladies and gentlemen, in order for Africa to realize our potential, we must wake up. Because when we wake up and we are united, we are going to be masters of our own affairs. We are going to be masters of our own resources, and we can only do that through unity.
Yes, Papa, may I tell you, after all of them talking and singing and poetry and all of them heroes and things, you keep have to go over the same thing over and over and over. If you get it in a black people mind and consciousness, that them need for wake up. Oh gosh, man, what a people stiff-necked. I don't know how they're going to do that.
Well, I was with Muammar Gaddafi when Gaddafi insert in 1999 advanced coming out of the OAU to the African Union with a vision of the United States of Africa. Muammar Gaddafi spent, listen to me, billions of dollars to create the African Union. Did you know that Gaddafi gave $300 million and the other African nations gave $100 million to put up a satellite so that we who call Africa don't have to go through Europe to get to Africa. And Europe was getting $500 million a year just by our telephone calls to the continent. Now we can call directly to Africa, and that 500 million is in the hand of African people. Did you know that Muammar Gaddafi was setting up an African development bank with $70 billion in the African Development Bank from Libyan oil money? That we would not have to borrow money from the IMF and the World Bank at these exorbitant rates. Zero interest under Islamic non-usury teachings. I just left St. Kitts, and in the island of St. Kitts, he was going to set up a Caribbean Development Bank. He told the Prime Minister there, and he was going to put $1 billion in that bank for Caribbean development. Why do you think they killed him? You think they killed him because he killed his people? Hell no. They killed him because, listen to me real good, you touched my nerve with that question. Did you know that in Libya?
Don't they know America devastate the place like what them do with Iraq, like we know them are do with Gaza, match up the whole place, turn it into rubbles. We see them do it in Iraq, about mass destruction, mass. I tell you, it's anyway. We take a break here at 12 o'clock. 3 minutes after 12, and it usher in a celebration that is necessary and important to Rastafari and the community of Rastafari all over the world. Knowing that this day, 2nd of November, mark the presence of Emperor Haile Selassie, King of Kings, conquering land of Judah, on the throne of Ethiopia. And it also usher in this movement that is called the Rastafari movement in Jamaica. So we're going to start out with this. It's a musical tribute all the way till 2 o'clock. So it's not easy. It's not easy for hold on upon it. Especially like how things are going so now. Make a whole heap of one runway. So give thanks to those who hold on. And still a jump now you're being in at the night, you know. Yes, music. Because we're up and radio, and that is how we do it. When we are celebrating, we celebrate it through the music. So here we go. Bob Marley make popular. You understand? So we continue celebrating. Heart-wrenching, if you know, say, Jamaica move gone past this musically. When at this, they carry it out there. May I tell you, Rastafari, for no radio station in Jamaica, like we are here now. So just love it.